there has to be a moral standard. I think that in our culture, previous generations of musicians recognized that they were representing their families, and that what they did was a reflection on their family. What they did was a reflection on their community. And what I'm saying is, one of the things that's happened with this generation, because of the globalization of the economy and the ways that parents are working longer hours, and the rise of the whole prison industrial complex, these things, and the change in, and just the change of work, these things have changed the ways in which culture is transmitted from one generation to the next. And so these things that we could take for granted in the statement that John Coltrane is making, we can no longer take those things for granted. And my other point is that previous generations, the cultural arts movement is following the political movement. Right. That's not happening in the case of hip hop. So therefore, the fact that there is a lack of a moral center is a crucial point. Yeah. Because if you take the Black Arts Movement, for example, the Black Arts Movement is following the political movement on the ground. If you take what's going on in Harlem Renaissance, that's coexisting with the Garvey movement. So you have these political movements, the Civil Rights Movement, Sweet Honey in the Rock, all these James Brown, all of those artistic expressions in the music are coming out of and reflecting the political movement on the ground. In the case of hip hop, we're dealing with a different time and different circumstances, and you have a lot of young people who are being driven and defined by this industry that's saying, you got to get money. And we have a generation of hip-hop artists, unlike the era of Public Enemy, where many of those artists were middle class. Public Enemy, these cats are college graduates. We're talking about people who have dropped out of high school because they knew that their prospects for making money in this economy was better through this music. So the music then becomes it's not about art. It's about how can I put these lyrics together and my image together in a way in which I can get this money? How am I going to go platinum? And in that, a moral center is lost, and you're articulating a morality or a lack of morality to a generation and packaging it as though it's black culture.
Exactly. Absolutely. No, you made it.
And in that sense, hip-hop didn't, at one point, hip-hop didn't have a political center. We defined the political center in hip-hop, such that people could say, when we're talking about politics and hip-hop, this is what we're talking about. We haven't done the same things in terms of morality. I'm not saying that all the music has to be moral. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying there has to be a clear line where we say, a part of the problem is it's created a generational rift. So older people say, you young people don't have morals. You young people aren't like we used to be. But that's not necessarily true. But because we've been so ineffective at defining it, that's the interpretation.